The newly aired Pokémon Horizons episode 141, titled Ready Go Unite Battle, was the first ever full mobile game adaptation in the Pokémon anime. It was Pokémon Unite in anime form, complete with fast-paced MOBA battles, and of course our heroes being scammed financially by Tencent. They got the full Unite experience. Now, I quit Pokémon Unite years ago because it made me want to rip my hair out, but did it have that same effect on our heroes? Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and we'll find out in my review video. In the episode, Fried tells our heroes about Pokémon Unite battles on Eos Island, how they're 5v5 matches where teams gather Eos energy from wild Pokémon to try and outscore their opponents, and since Fried is friends with Professor Forrest, the creator of Unite battles, he volunteers our heroes to compete. Man, it feels so surreal seeing Eos Island and Remote Stadium in the Pokémon anime. I never thought we'd see the day. It honestly makes me wonder whether Pasio from Pokémon Masters exists somewhere in the anime world too. The idea of all the world's strongest trainers gathering there would be so cool. The commentator announces the battle with our heroes in their awesome Unite outfits alongside their starter Pokemon, and okay, I get why the starters were chosen here since they're all playable in Pokemon Unite. If the writers knew they'd be using the starters again this week, then why couldn't the Feebas episode or the Fake Horizon Voltaclers episode have given some spotlight to our heroes' other Pokemon instead? Kilowattrel, Hatterene, Goldengo, Armarouge, Tinkaton. Why is it always the starter Pokemon over and over and over? It's getting a bit repetitive, you know? All the other Pokemon are starting to feel like chopped liver. And man, I really wish someone walked up to our heroes like, just so you know, using your starter Pokemon here costs about $20 worth of Eos gems. You have to buy their Unite licenses. Oh, and those Holoware outfits your Pokemon are wearing, they're probably about another $8 each too. Time to pay up. Then they really would have had the Pokemon Unite experience. Anyway, our heroes are up against Team Shining Oceans, who are a top team in Unite battles. They're super popular and skilled, but far more importantly, their team captain is a Sirfetch'd. Dude, we won so bad. Sirfetch'd is my all-time GOAT. I hate to say it, but I'm cheering on the Duck all the way. Sorry Ryzen Voltaclers, I'm praying on your downfall today. Dot is super nervous about the huge crowd, and I really love that. It's such a little addition that feels in character. But there's no time to overthink because the match is beginning. Everyone takes their positions, and their Pokemon begin to rush into battle, and their priority at first is defeating wild Pokemon to gather Eos energy. And man, you love to see them farming. That already makes them better than half of the Pokemon Unite player base. Although I did just realise something. In Pokemon Unite, Pokemon start unevolved and then evolve throughout the match. It would have been really cool if Eos Island somehow de-evolved everyone's Pokemon for the battle, then they could have evolved again throughout. Anything to see our boy Quaxley again, I'm begging you. Anyway, Meowscarada goes after the Central Vespiquen, only for Sirfetch'd and Clefable to contest it, and after some really cool clashes and heals and parries, Meowscarada is forced to retreat while the enemy team secures the Eos energy. Meanwhile, Zoroark ganked Captain Pikachu to stop him from helping Meowscarada, and it's immediately obvious that the enemy team is far more coordinated, man. They've got the teamwork, the ganks, the strategies, the synergy, but regardless, Captain Pikachu manages to score the first points of the match. Unfortunately, Ult gets caught up in the excitement and overextends, being taken out by Vaporeon, but thankfully Pokemon do respawn in Unite. Sableye losing all of his Eos energy is rough though. The enemy team quickly starts snowballing, Zoroark unleashes his Unite move, Nightfall Days, to defeat Quaquaval, while Toxtricity follows up with his own Unite move to knock out Skeledirge, and that gives Team Shining Oceans the opening to score a massive amount of points. Our heroes realise they're being cooked, so they need to work together more, but then their idea of teamwork is grouping up to defeat a basic Corphish farm? Bro, that is not the play. Meanwhile, Sableye takes on Vaporeon, Skeledirge fights Toxtricity, and Captain Pikachu dives in and somehow ends up distracting the entire enemy team. It's a 1v5, man, and that creates the perfect opening for Meowscarada to unleash her Unite move, Floral Flourish. She hits all 5 of the opponents in one go, forcing them all to retreat before they get defeated. That was an insanely great moment to pick there, Liko. Legendary! I'm so glad the writers are letting her feel strong again. So our heroes continue farming and battling and clashing, and Fried is clearly a regular Unite player because he says they need to save their Unite moves for the perfect moment at the end to secure the victory. Now that's a Pokemon Unite strat, man. Unlike the opponents who for some reason are wasting all of their Unite moves on farming minions. Dude, I thought these guys were meant to be professionals. Anyway, Team Shining Oceans catches on to Fried's strategy, so instead they start goal rushing and racking up points because they know our heroes won't waste their Unite moves trying to stop them. And then the moment Fried was waiting for arrives. Zapdos. Zapdos arrives, taking his place in the center of the stadium. Part of me has to wonder how the heck they managed to persuade a Zapdos, you know, a legendary Pokemon with the power of disrupting and controlling the entire world's weather, how they managed to persuade it to spend its life showing up at the stadium every day instead. It's one of those things you don't really think about in the games. But in the anime, where it's clear legendary Pokemon are even more special and have even bigger roles in the world's balance, this Zapdos' role is just to be a part of a glorified footy match. That's hilarious to me, man. Anyway, anyone who's ever played Pokemon Unite knows exactly what this means, exactly what Zapdos means. You can be absolutely curb stomped for the entire game, losing miserably, but if you secure that final hit on Zapdos, it's basically hitting the instant win button. I remember absolutely hating it back when Unite first launched in 2021 when I used to play every day. Zapdos in the final 2 minutes basically invalidates the whole other 8 minutes of the match. Zapdos decides the whole game, dude, so if our heroes want to win, they really need to get this. Also, can we talk about how lucky it is that our heroes are battling on the map with Zapdos, and not the Skyruin map that has a Rayquaza as the final boss instead? Imagine a Rayquaza appearing, dude. Ult would have crashed out and tried to break into the arena to try and catch it. Loki, I kinda wish that happened now. That would have been so funny. Your perfect green Rayquaza is waiting for you somewhere else, Ult. I'm manifesting that for you. So our heroes finally target Zapdos, but I can't lie, I was a little disappointed about what happened next. Personally, I think it would have been way cooler if they used all of their Unite moves on the enemy team. They could have completely wiped out the enemy team to stop them contesting Zapdos, and then while the enemy team are respawning, our heroes could have secured Zapdos themselves. That's usually the go-to strategy in actual Unite matches. But instead, our heroes burn all of their Unite moves on Zapdos itself while the enemy team is still up. Rookie mistake, man. But hey, they're the main characters, they can get away with anything. So our heroes battle Zapdos while Cap distracts all of the opponents. There's a lot of chaos and warfare going on, and then after a few more big hits, Zapdos is about to be defeated. But then Ult realizes something huge. The Sirfetch'd is nowhere to be found. So Ult commands his Sableye just as Sirfetch'd suddenly pops out of a bush using his Unite move, Lunging Leak Nova Blast, to try and steal the kill on Zapdos. That's the most Pokemon Unite snipe strat ever, and I absolutely love the name of Lunging Leak Nova Blast, that's ridiculous. But because Ult realised seconds before that Sirfetch'd isn't around, he predicted that it could try and steal the kill, so he managed to command Sableye in the nick of time to dive in the way with his own Unite move, Chaos Glower. Sableye stops Sirfetch'd, allowing our heroes to get the final hit on Zapdos. Their Pokemon are now full to the brim with Eos energy, and they fight to the goal with Skeledirge staying behind to stop the enemy team, and that allows our heroes to score an insane amount of points. Then everybody battles over the final energy orb in the final few seconds, with Cap managing to score it. The Unite battle ends with the Ryzen Voltaclers victorious. They're celebrating and happy, and they all don some awesome costumes. That'll be another $40 each, by the way. And the episode ended there. Okay, so overall, I would say I'm kind of back and forth on this episode, a little bit mixed. But let's start with the positives, because there were definitely things I enjoyed here. First of all, I thought it was genuinely really cool to see a completely different style of battling in the Pokemon anime. So much of anipoke these days revolves around standard battles, so getting to see Pokemon Unite adapted into the anime, that style of combat, that career path, that kind of event, it felt really refreshing to me. It gave me the same feeling I used to get watching Pokemon Rangers in the anime, or Coordinators, or Battle Royales. It's just different to the norm, and different is great. I also liked how the battle showcased Liko's skill, and especially Freed's strategic side. It's clear that Freed knows Unite battles. He popped off towards the end. I also thought Ult was the surprise shining star, being the sole reason Sirfetch'd didn't steal Zapdos. Our heroes would have lost without Ult, so I'm glad he got that respect on his name. He'd make a great Unite player with more practice. And finally, I will always celebrate seeing a Sirfetch'd in the anime. It's one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. This one especially gave me huge Ash's Sirfetch'd vibes. It had the same moves like Fury Cutter, and it even threw its shield with Brutal Swing exactly like Ash's Duck did. It felt like a spiritual cameo in that way from our goat Sir Duck. It made me ridiculously happy. I have to say though, I don't think this episode was the best representation of Pokemon Unite that it could have been. Like, yeah, it was fun and it did show the main mechanics of Pokemon Unite well enough, but I don't think it captured what actually makes Unite feel so exciting to play. And what I mean by that is that I don't think it ever really conveyed the sheer scale or chaos of a real Unite match. In the game, it's a massive 5v5 battlefield with wild Pokemon everywhere, teammates constantly fighting across multiple lanes, huge team clashes breaking out, some Pokemon scoring, some some farming, some battling while others are defending. There's always something happening everywhere all at once. But in this episode it kind of felt like the opposite to me. It mostly focused on 1 or 2 Pokemon at a time, and while they were battling it almost felt like the other 8 or 9 Pokemon had temporarily stopped existing. Instead of feeling like one huge war happening all at once across an entire battlefield, it felt like a series of much smaller fights and moments stitched together. And I understand why. The animation budget and production time probably made it impossible to show properly, but it did mean the episode never really captured that frantic, all-out war chaotic feeling that makes Unite, well, Unite. So because of that, this episode didn't really succeed at making me want to play Pokemon Unite again, although to be fair, the quality of my teammates would have probably overridden any desire anyway. I also think the episode maybe leaned a little too heavily into style over substance. There were definitely some cool strategic moments, but for the most part it just kind of felt like action, action, action. And I'm sure that's exactly what some people love, but it's not really what I look for in the Pokemon anime. Personally, I love episodes that leave me thinking afterwards, ones that explore a character or an idea or have something meaningful to say. This one was entertaining to watch in the moment, but I don't think it's an episode that I'll still be thinking about months from now, like I probably will with the Feebas episode for example. Finally, I did have to laugh at the ending, because Team Shine and Oceans are meant to be one of the greatest Pokemon Unite teams all around. They were so hyped up, like genuine professional players with years of experience, unbelievable skill. The crowd went wild for them, but then they went and wasted their Unite moves on minions. They completely misplayed the Zapdos fight, and outside of Surfetch having a plan at the end to snipe it, they basically showed zero strategy in the second half. Somehow this team of seasoned Pokemon Unite pros are lost to a team of complete beginners, complete rookies who have never played before. Like, wow, maybe they really are the top team in the beginner rank. So let me know your thoughts on today's episode below, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you so much to all of my incredible channel members on screen right now. That includes Juscadia, Toten, Not Mini, Hope, J, Jackson. You guys are the goats. And on that note, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again.